Look at those lashes, like look side by side. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I sat down and created this makeup look. I just wanted to like create something random. This is what I came up with. It's almost like a modern mermaid kind of vibe. The idea of this video was to just kind of bring the vibes of what I do off camera. Most of the time when I don't have to film a video, I will just come in my beauty room and I will just play with makeup. I won't have any purpose for it necessarily. There won't be a certain occasion that I have in mind. I just want to sit down and play around with new colors and different techniques and just see what I can come up with. So I wanted to kind of take that vibe into this video and kind of inspire you guys, if you're at home, to take a moment to yourself and just go through what you have and just sit and create. This for me is such a stress reliever, so I kind of wanted to encourage you guys to do that at home. You can do it while you watch this video or you can do it on your own time. I'm also so excited because I use some of my very favorite NABLA Cosmetics products, which you guys know is one of my favorite brands. And if you don't know, NABLA Cosmetics is an Italian brand that has incredible makeup products that I feature quite a bit on my channel. I'm super excited because NABLA is sponsoring this portion of the video because they have such an exciting announcement, and I'm so happy that they wanted me to help them celebrate this amazing accomplishment slash announcement. Seriously, it's so fun. NABLA Cosmetics is now available at Ulta.com, you guys. Oh my gosh, what an amazing thing. I know so many of you have wanted to try NABLA in the past, and depending on where you live, it might have not been that easy to get a hold of their products. So I'm super excited to help NABLA announce and celebrate the fact that they are on Ulta.com. I will have the link down below if you've been wanting to try NABLA and you just haven't had a chance. Now is the time. I created this look using so many of my favorite NABLA Cosmetics products, a lot of which are on Ulta.com. For example, I created this eye look using the NABLA Secret Palette, which looks like this on the inside. Their eyeshadow formula is amazing. I also used one of my favorite mascaras, which happens to be from NABLA. This is the Major Pleasure Mascara, which is also on Ulta.com. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I also used a brow pencil from them. I used some of their foundations and concealers, so a lot of their products helped kind of inspire this look. If there was one thing that I would recommend trying from everything that I've tried and from everything that's available on Ulta.com, I would definitely say to run and grab the mascara. Oh my gosh, this mascara is seriously one of my favorites, so I'm so happy that it's on Ulta.com. And I'll tell you more about the products as I go through the tutorial and create this look, but don't miss out. Make sure you head over to Ulta to check out NABLA Cosmetics. It's so exciting that they're available there now, and I'm secretly hoping that one day they will come in the stores. I don't know. That's just wishful thinking on my end, because truly I feel like this is a brand that the world needs because they're that amazing. I can't wait to show you guys how I love to use their products, and I can't wait to show you how I achieved this makeup look right here, which I absolutely love. So if you guys want to see how I created this look, just keep watching. I'm going to start off with my brows, and I'm going to be using the NABLA Brow Divine pencil, and I have mine in the shade Neptune. I'm going to go ahead and brush up the brows with the spoolie. I love when brow pencils have spoolies on the other end because I like to fill in the brows and then flip the pencil over and brush through it. So this is a great pencil for that. And I'm just going to start to kind of sketch out the shape of the brow. And I just like to use hair-like strokes toward the front of the brow especially. I want the brows to be nice and soft and feathery today. So I'm just going to continue to build them up really lightly until I get the shape that I want. Let's go ahead and do this side. Okay, both brows are filled in the way that I want them for now. I really love this pencil and I love this shade on me. I think it's perfect for my hair color. We're going to be doing the eyes first, so I'm going to go into the NABLA Close Up Concealer. And you guys know I've been really loving this concealer. I've used it several times on my channel. I'm just going to go ahead and dabble a little bit of that onto the eyelids. And then I'm going to take this sponge from NABLA and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of press that out all over the lid. I'm just going to take a little bit more to try to conceal that blemish that's under the brow. Kind of an awkward spot there, but that's all right. We're just going to try to conceal it. Well, that's as good as that's going to get for now. Next, I'm going to be taking the NABLA Close Up Baking and Setting Powder. This is the translucent powder. And I'm just wanting to take a little bit of this and I'm going to apply it to the eyelid just to set the concealer and to prep it for eyeshadow. Okay, I'm so excited to be dipping into the NABLA Secret Palette for this look. This is such a pretty palette. Even the front of it is so beautiful. All right, so first, I think I want to go into this shade right here. You know, I don't really know how to pronounce this correctly. Let's see here. Is it Julieta? I don't know, but it's this pretty matte pink shade right here. I'm gonna go ahead and dip into that with a fluffy brush. And I'm gonna start to work this in the crease first. And as there's less product on the brush, I'm gonna really smoke this out. I wanna create kind of a more ethereal look, which are my favorite kind of looks to make. So I'm just gonna layer up this beautiful pink shade in the crease and then kind of blend it out towards the end of the brow, and then also a little bit into this inner portion of the eye here. This is gonna really set the tone for the rest of the eyeshadows. So I'm actually gonna spend quite a bit of time buffing this out kind of further out than I normally would, just to help it look more editorial kind of in the end. This is such a pretty eyeshadow. The NABLA eyeshadow formula seriously is one of the best. It makes me so happy that they're at Ulta now. Seriously, you guys. I know so many of you have wanted to try NABLA since I've talked about it so much. Now it's your chance. Do not miss out. It's so exciting. Look how pretty this is. It's blending out so nicely. And I'm really just working the brush all around the eye, focusing it in the crease, but also kind of buffing it and diffusing it outward. We're gonna jump straight into this bold color right here. This is called Big Experience. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and apply this with my finger. I'm just gonna take it and start by kind of tapping it onto the center of the lids. I really want most of the pigment to be toward the lash line, and then we'll use a brush later to kind of diffuse the edges. Usually when I film videos, I have some sort of like a plan in mind, you know? For today's video, I seriously just felt like sitting down and playing. There's no like purpose in this tutorial necessarily. There's no specific occasion I'm thinking of necessarily. I'm just playing around, and to be honest, this is how I personally love to relieve stress, and it just allows me to be more creative. Makeup is by far my favorite creative outlet. There's just no rules and there's no limits. And you don't have to be going anywhere to do your makeup in a fun way. Sometimes it's just fun to like sit down and create something different and try new techniques and try new colors, even if you just stay home. I do it all the time. I'm taking that first brush that we were using with that light matte pink shade. I didn't add any more color to it, but I'm just taking that through the crease, and I'm using this to kind of blend the edges of that shimmery magenta shade into the existing matte shade. So it creates more of like a gradient coming in from the matte shade down into that more magenta color. I'm going to continue to layer up a little bit more of that magenta onto the lid just to intensify the gradient a little bit more. Next, I'm going to go into this shade right here called Hypersensual. This is a really pretty kind of gold and pink duochrome shade. I'm just going to take this on my finger as well, and I'm going to start to just press that onto the lid, focusing it on the center of the eyelid, and it's just going to create kind of like a golden peachy reflect, which is so pretty and so magical. So I am tapping this color all over the lid, but I'm focusing it again in the center. Even though there is glitter on the edges here, I want the main focus to be the center of the lid. So I'm actually gonna take the shade I Promise, and since we're just playing with makeup, I'm kind of doing things a little bit out of order than what I normally do. I'm gonna add this to the brow bone right now. I'm just trying to decide if I want to deepen up the eyeshadow at all or if I want to leave it like this. So sometimes if I know I want to use an inner corner highlight or whatever, and I'm just making it up as I go, I will sometimes just do what I know I want, and then you can either leave the eye look alone and come back to it later and decide if you want to deepen it up a little bit, or maybe you'll decide after adding a couple more things to it. So I'm just adding this to the inner corner. I am kind of dragging it up into the inner corner here. I just love how that looks. I feel like it kind of shapes out the eye a little bit, so I love to drag it up a little bit right here. See that? I just feel like it kind of carved out a little bit of the eye, especially since we had some of that matte pink shade in the inner portion. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put it underneath the brows, just like we did on the other side. All right, now that we have that on, I'm actually going to dip back into Julieta, which is that matte light pink shade, and I'm just lightly going to dust that a little bit higher above the crease. Since we added the brow bone shade, I really do want a little bit more pink moving up into the brow. Normally I don't take the color this high, but we're just playing, so I'm gonna do it. I just feel like creating something a little bit more blown out and smoky. Okay, I personally feel like there needs to be something on the outer corner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into this shade right here, which is like a gorgeous mauve. I think it will be perfect for just slightly deepening up the outer corner. This is called Contigo. I'm gonna dip my brush in and tap off the extra, and I'm just gonna start to kind of press that on the outer portion of the lid, pretty close to the lash line to begin. And then I'm just gonna kind of bring it in to shape out this edge here. It just added the slightest amount of definition and depth, which I always feel like really helps pull the whole look together in the end. When I'm making up an eyeshadow look like this, I don't get too frustrated if like what I've already done kind of brushes off. See how some of that glitter kind of brushed off while doing that? It's totally fine. First, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of blend the edges again with the brush that we used for the matte pink transition shade. And then you just take the shade that you were using before, the hypersensual one, and I'm just gonna kind of press that over the edge again. It really is all about layering and just playing and just kind of doing little mini step back and assess the situation moments where you just kind of make those decisions one at a time instead of getting overwhelmed by the overall look all at once. All right, I'm taking a brush and I'm dipping back into the shade Big Experience, which was that pretty cranberry shade, and I just felt like we lost a little bit of that color on this inner portion. I do want it to be a little bit more bright, so I'm tapping just a tiny bit more of that shade right here and right here on the lid, just to kind of bring back in that vibrancy again. I'm just making sure that that's blending into the existing shades really well. So the bottom edges are not flawless. That's why we did the eyes first, and that's what we're gonna clean up now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a makeup wipe and kind of follow along the edge of the lower lash line all the way to the end of the brow to kind of create that shape. So since I'm wanting more of a smoked out look, I don't want too much of a harsh line. So I do want this shape to kind of be started for me, but I don't want to keep that super harsh line. So I like to take my finger and just press that out a little bit, and that will just help when we do the lower lash line to make things look a little less harsh. I love the shape that that created. We used a ton of similar shades, but just use them in a different way, so it really shaped out the eyes, and I'm loving how this is looking. Just to make sure that there's no glitter fallout, I do like to go into mascara at this point in the makeup if I do have a lot going on the top lid, which we do today. So I'm gonna go in with the NABLA Major Pleasure Mascara. This mascara, you guys, every single time I wear it, I get compliments. This mascara builds up like no other. It's one of my all-time favorites. You guys probably know that because I've used it so many times on my channel. I'm just gonna do one side first so that you can really see the difference. I like to build this up. I probably do about 3 coats to build this up to the level of volume that I want. And I don't rush it. I start out small and just make sure that the lashes are pretty separated with a small layer. Then I'll let that sit for about 10 seconds. I don't dip the brush back into the bottle, but I do go back and I start to build this mascara up a little bit more. Building it up in lighter layers really helps. For the third coat of mascara, I did dip back into the bottle, and now it's really starting to build up. I love this mascara. I'm somebody who loves a buildable mascara like this that makes it look like you're wearing false lashes. It does take a little bit more time when you're getting ready to like build up the lash, but it's so good and so worth the time, especially for looks like this where you have something more bold on the eyelid. I feel like a bold, kind of more voluminous lash really complements it, and it helps pull the entire look together. Also, this mascara has passed my smudging and flake test, which I'm very picky about, so it does not do that, which is amazing. Look at those lashes, like look side by side. Isn't that wild? It's seriously one of my favorites. All right, let's go ahead and quickly get this lash up to speed. I'm gonna go ahead and apply 3 coats of this as well, and then we'll move on to the face. All right, so mascara is now on the top lashes. I did get a little bit of mascara marks on the very top lid, but we're just gonna keep moving forward and we can dust those off in a minute. Let's move on to complexion. I really envision doing kind of like a modern mermaid vibe, okay? Let's be honest, that's why my hair is like this. And so I really want very dewy but glam skin. So I wanted to use this. This is the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer, and this is the Radiance Primer. This gives such a beautiful glow to the skin. So I'm gonna be pretty generous with this, and I'm gonna go ahead and just apply this all over the face using my fingers. And this just has a way of making your skin look so glowy without any sparkle. This is not a product that I wear on its own. I always layer this underneath a foundation because there's just something about it that when you combine it with a foundation, it makes your makeup look way more natural, especially when you're trying to do a more glam makeup look, but you want the skin to still look fresh. This is an amazing product for that. I'm just kind of pressing that into the skin. To make it even more glam, I wanted to use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer in the T-zone. This is amazing, you guys. Like, I'm truly floored. Every single time I use it, my T-zone looks impeccable. So I'm just gonna go ahead and focus that right in the T-zone. I have the largest pores right here on the sides of my nose. I do like to apply it on the nose a little bit as well. And I'll do a little on the chin and a tiny bit just right here in the center of the forehead. Next, I'm going to be using the NABLA Close Up Futuristic Foundation. They sent me this full-size bottle in the PR box, and then they also sent a bunch of little minis in all of the other shades. I'm going to choose the one that works best for me. I'm thinking my shade will be L40. This one is L50, and I'm pretty sure it's a little bit dark for me, so I'm just gonna blend this out on the side of the face to see how well that works for me. Okay, yeah, I definitely feel like it's blending down into the color of my neck, so we're gonna use E.l.f. I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna start in the center of the face, and using a brush, I'm just gonna start to blend that outward. I'm gonna try to use as little foundation as possible for this look, because again, I'm envisioning like really fresh skin. So I'm just gonna really continue to spend time on blending the foundation out and really working it into the skin. And then as I blend it out, if I think I need a little more coverage, I can always go back into a little bit more and continue to build that up in light layers. To make sure that everything looks seamless, I do like to take the foundation down the neck a little bit. And now I'm just gonna take whatever's left on the back of my hand on the NABLA sponge, and we're gonna use this to just press that into the skin to make sure that it has an even more skin-like finish. Okay, so once I feel like the foundation is pressed into the skin nicely, I'm gonna go back into the NABLA Close Up Stay Full Smooth Concealer, and I'm gonna start to conceal the under eyes using this, and also a little bit down the center of the face, something like that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out with the sponge. And I'm gonna be careful along the edge of the eyeshadow not to stamp the concealer too close to it. You want to get it as close as possible, but you also don't want to ruin all the hard work you just did. So I always like to take a mirror and go super up close when I'm blending out concealer around the edge. I'm going to take a slightly darker shade in that concealer. This is the shade Ivory, and I'm going to use that to spot conceal any areas that I need a little more coverage. And I'm just going to take the same sponge to blend all of those out. All right, let's go ahead and set the under eye area using that same NABLA Loose Translucent powder. This is the close-up powder. And I'm actually using the NABLA Precision Powder Brush to set. This brush is perfect for the under eye area. So I'm using that powder brush to really press powder into the T-zone. And then I'm taking what's left on a bigger brush and just using that to set the rest of the face. While the complexion sets, let's go ahead and go back into the eyes and finish that up. So I'm going to go ahead and go into that brush that we used with Julietta, the matte shade. I'm tapping off the extra, and I'm actually just going to pinch the brush and start to buff that along the lower lash line. Once most of the shadow is off the brush, I'm going to unpinch the brush and just go ahead and buff that along the lower lash line. It's going to make the shadow go a little lower than normal, but with this shade, that's kind of what I want to create more of that ethereal, smoky eye. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on this eye. Next, I'm going to dip back into Big Experience with a little bit more of a precise brush. I'm going to tap off the extra again and then pinch the brush. And this is going across the entire lower lash line, but this time I'm trying to make it stick pretty close to the actual lashes to kind of create the same effect that we did on the top where we did more of a gradient this way. We're doing more of a gradient in this direction for the lower lash line. And then I'm going to dip into this shade right here. Again, this is called Hypersensual, and I'm taking this on my pinky, and I'm just going to try to press this with my finger along the lower lash line. I'm not trying to make this perfect necessarily, but I am trying to kind of match the same vibe that we have going on the top. So I am focusing that more in the center of the lid and then kind of pressing it out toward the edges as there's less product on my finger. I'm taking that powder brush and just dusting off any extra eyeshadow that fell down. I'm going to take the shade I Promise, which is what we used in the inner corner of the eye, and I'm going to kind of build that up again and then bring it into this area right here just to kind of connect everything around the entire eye. I'm going back in with the brush we used with the more matte shade, and I'm continuing to kind of buff that out underneath the lower lash line. Okay, I think that's where I want it, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply some lower lash mascara. I'm just taking that same NABLA Cosmetics Major Pleasure Mascara, and I'm only gonna do about one coat of mascara on the lower lashes. I want them to be defined, but I don't want them to be as voluminous as the top lashes, so I like to just kind of feather that lightly. Something like that. All right, let's go ahead and do the complexion. We can always revisit the eyes and touch up if I feel like we need to. For bronzer, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Bronze Please Latera Sun Powder Face and Body Bronzer. I have the shade 01, and I'm going to take a fluffier bronzer brush, kind of swirl the brush in the pan, and I'm going to lightly kind of continue to buff this onto the face, starting on the cheeks and working my way upward around the perimeters of the face. I always like to get bronzer kind of into the hairline. I feel like that helps everything look more natural. I'm also making sure to bring the bronzer down the neck and along the jawline just so everything looks more cohesive. And I'm actually kind of taking that and applying it almost like a blush. I'm going to layer a blush on top of this, but I kind of want an all-over bronze. So I'm bringing it in toward the center of the face a little bit closer than I normally do. And then I always take whatever powder brush I was using and just kind of press that out. Oh, dang it. I was going to use my Laura Mercier Candle Glow powder. You know what? I might actually try to use this to kind of blend in the bronzer. Let's try it. I've never done this. We're just playing. There's no rules. So this is the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder in the shade 01. I usually use this right after setting the face with powder. I just feel like it helps kind of bring back some of that radiance, and it just gives like the most blurred, beautiful finish to the skin. I'm actually really liking what this is doing as I'm layering it over the bronzer. I feel like it's really helping to blend it out. It just kind of seems to be perfecting everything, which I love. Okay, well, awesome. I feel like I might have found a new little trick there, because now you can't even see where the bronzer starts or stops, but it's there. We might add more later. Of course we're gonna add more later. Who am I kidding? We're gonna add more bronzer probably after we assess the situation, but I really like what that did. Whoa. Okay, great. I want to use the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Highlighter. Mine is in the shade Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal, and I chose this one because I knew I kind of wanted to play with the cranberry tones, and this has more of like a pinky champagne undertone to it, so I felt like it would really match with the eye look. I'm going to go into this side of the highlighter first, and I'm just going to go ahead and layer this onto the cheeks, around the brow in kind of a C shape. And I do like to bring it on the front of the cheeks when I smile, just to kind of add a little bit of glow to the front of the face as well. I'm also taking it down the center of the nose, on the cupid's bow, and I think that's about it. I'm gonna take the other side, which just has a little bit more sparkle to it, and I'm really wanting to just add this right on the very tippy top of the cheeks, right here. And maybe a little bit on the nose, and maybe a little on the lip too. Okay, we're done. All right, for blush, I want to use this one right here. This is the Essence Satin Touch Blush in the shade 01 Satin Coral. I just feel like it's going to be really soft, but I still wanted it to show up enough because I love blush. So I just felt like this color would be perfect. I'm just going to go ahead and smile and kind of dust that up toward the highlighter, kind of blending it over top of the highlighter in some areas. And I'm just going to continue to layer that until it's as pink as I want it. This is a beautiful blush. I'm gonna take what's left and just kind of go across the nose lightly. Okay, I'm loving how that is pairing with the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off any foundation that got on the lips. For lip liner, I'm gonna go into the ColourPop Lippy Pencil. This is in the shade Another Round. And I'm gonna line and fill in the lips with this. Oh yes, I think this is matching the look perfectly. I wasn't sure, but it's all coming together, which I love. Okay, and then I wanna lighten up the center, and I'm gonna use the Almay Lip Vibes lipstick in the shade Go Wild. This is one of my favorite nude lipsticks at the moment. And I'm gonna really kind of focus that in the center of the lips. And then I take my finger and just kind of blend it in. Oh my goodness, I love this. All right, we're gonna go in with a gloss. I'm gonna take the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper in the shade Prismatic Peach. I just felt like it would pull the whole look together. So let's go ahead and apply this on top. It kind of has some glitter in it, which I think looks so good. Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed. I've never done this lip combo before, and sometimes I'm a little bit nervous when I try a new like nude lip combo because I don't want the formula to separate or anything. So far it seems like it's working pretty well, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Oh my goodness, I love this look. Let's step back and assess the situation, and we're gonna add a little more bronzer to the forehead area. I really do like how soft it is though today, so I don't want to add too much more. But I do want to look sun-kissed, and I usually feel like just kind of adding a little bit more here helps to kind of balance the face. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. All right, let's take a closer look. I think I love how everything is looking. The eyeshadow seems nice and blended. I might take just the tiniest bit of the Fenty Beauty highlighter. Sorry, my chair's squeaking a lot right now. And I'm gonna take the small brush and I'm gonna go into the more sparkly side. And I just wanna add that right on top of the existing shadows in the inner corner, just to kind of intensify that a little bit more. Yeah, I really like that. Okay, and then maybe I'm gonna add a little more blush just with what's left on the brush. I feel like the highlighter level is good. Okay, I always wanna make sure everything looks good before we lock it in with setting spray, you know? So I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna use the Pixi Makeup Fixing Mist. I actually have not used this ever. I've used some other face mists from Pixi and I really like them. Let's see how this one goes. Just gonna spray this all over. I don't know if I like the smell of that one. I'm gonna use my handy fan, just kind of dry things down. Once it's almost dry, I'm just gonna take my sponge and press down all the peach fuzz and powdery finish. And we can't forget to set the brows. I'm gonna go in with my NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. And I'm gonna run this through the brows just to kind of make them look more feathery and to lock them in place. Okay, I think I want just one more finishing touch. The Ciate London Dewy Sticks. I love this. I just want to take a little bit and apply it right here to the very high points of the cheeks. I think that's just gonna add to like the mermaidness of this look. Guys, I love mermaids, okay? I secretly wish I was one. And I also love this product. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I like to add a little bit to the front of the cheeks just to add to the dewiness. Okay. All right, you guys, so that completes this makeup look. I love how this turned out, and I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Hopefully it inspires you guys to just sit down at home and play with the makeup that you have and try something new and try to create something using colors that are out of your comfort zone or inspired by a certain thing. It truly is my stress reliever, and I had so much fun filming this video, and I had so much fun creating this look. I feel so much better, and I feel so confident in this kind of a makeup look. I absolutely love how it turned out. Thanks again to NABLA Cosmetics for sponsoring a portion of this video. Again, I will have everything linked down below. You guys should definitely check it out on Ulta. Let me know if you pick up any of their products and what you think of them. I know you guys are gonna love them. I seriously love their products so much, and it's so exciting that so many of you can get your hands on them now because I know it wasn't as available to everyone in the past. So it's super exciting that they're at Ulta. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays when I upload, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. Ooh, I love this look. I'm not going anywhere tonight, but I sure do feel cute. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know what other videos you'd like to see on my channel. I always like to hear from you. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye!